Hey guys, welcome back to another news roundup. Hope you guys been enjoying the content channel as of late. We have an interesting story for today. I wasn't really going to talk about it, but then I made a connection to something, and it has me wondering about the validity of this announcement. So, if you haven't heard, there is a new Mummy film on the way, basically The Mummy 4, because Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz are returning, and they will be under the direction of the the directing duo called Radio Silence. They're the guys who gave you Ready or Not and the most recent Scream films. And of course, this is going to be distributed through Universal Pictures. Now, personally, I don't particularly care. I mean, I've never seen the Mummy films, and I've never heard many great things about those films. So, I mean, for what they did at the time, they made decent money, but, you know, it's also been, according to the Hollywood Reporter, it's been since 2008 since the series has been around. So it's been, you know, over 2 decades, nearly 2 decades, you know, by the time this potentially comes out. So, but it had me thinking because I had realized that there is another Mummy film that is on the way, and it's actually from Warner Brothers. This is coming in 2026, and I'm going to pull up some information about it right now. So this is being directed by Lee Cronin, written also by him. And you guys know him for Evil Dead Rise, which came out in 2023. And this is the first film in the Mummy franchise not to be produced or distributed by Universal Pictures since the, I guess, a Pacific series in the Mummy series from 1959 to 1971, according to the Wikipedia page here. And it's also being produced through Blumhouse, which we know is associated with Universal. So there is still some ties to Universal, but it's not integral. Their money's not on this, essentially. It's, you know, basically that of Warner Brothers' jurisdiction. I find this interesting, though, because is it possible, it's a little conspiracy theory here, but is it possible that this announcement with The Mummy 4, is it possible that this is in response to whatever this is? Because essentially this is a licensing deal. You know, The Mummy under Warner Brothers' jurisdiction, this is essentially a licensing deal. You guys can use our license, you know, and I'm pretty sure they get a little cut of whatever this film is going to end up making. But it makes me wonder, did they see a cut of this film, and did they look at that and then they went, you know what, why don't we just go ahead and do The Mummy 4? Why don't we just go ahead and just talk to Brendan Fraser? His name's relevant again, so why don't we just go ahead and do this? Because this is not looking particularly good. I'm wondering if that's the case, because when did they announce that they were doing this? Back in 2024. So this is before Wolfman came out, because, you know, you have to remember the Universal monsters, it's under their jurisdiction. So Wolfman, Mummy, Frankenstein. I think Frankenstein's a little bit more nuanced, just because, you know, you have Guillermo del Toro's version, which is under Netflix, and I think there's another Frankenstein film coming out, which is also through Warner Brothers. So, but this one specifically, I think, is interesting because it shows also Universal is more very lenient on the rights to those brands, you know, so it's not just squarely with them as a company. But I just find it very interesting that this film has not come out yet, and the thing that Universal is deciding to do separate from this is, we're just going to do The Mummy 4. I'm curious if they saw a cut. That's my thought, because they apparently wrapped back in June. So this has been in, at this stage, there's a cut. There's something of a cut that's probably done. So I'm wondering if they saw this or if they were preview to it, like through Blumhouse, the studio, and then someone there was just like, dude, I don't know about this. I don't know. I'm being very conspiracy theorist here, but it made me wonder, just because of just the fact that we have there's not a single piece of advertisement for this film coming out, by the way. We have the trailer for The Bride, but we have nothing for this, and The Bride, I think, comes out in March. This Mummy film from Warner Brothers is coming out in April. So you'd think that there'd be a trailer for something like this right now, especially if it's meant to be like a high budgeted thing. As far as I'm reading, it doesn't seem like that's the case. It looks like it's more in line with something like Wolfman, the Wolfman that came out this year. But I am wondering if this is the case of a direct response to what another company is doing with their property. I'm wondering. But you guys let me know. Am I overanalyzing stuff, or is there some validity to my claim? Because it just seems odd that it just seems odd, especially knowing that this is coming out next year. Like it just seems like a weird announcement to make. Also, like, frankly, I don't know who is giving a crap about The Mummy. Like the Universal monsters as I stand. Unless you're Frankenstein or Dracula, you're not gonna give a shit. You're not gonna care about the other characters, Wolfman, Mummy, what was the other ones? Jekyll and Hyde. They're not gonna give a crap about the Invisible Man. Like they're not gonna care. So you guys let me know. Maybe I'm just overly speculating, but you guys let me know your thoughts on that. And yeah, so that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Personally, I just don't give a shit about these two films coming out. Maybe the trailer will come out and it might impress me, but as far as I can tell anyway, it just doesn't look that impressive. But let me know all your thoughts in the comment section below. And until then, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.